Hello, welcome back to another episode of Journey Hotline, a series of interviews conducted by the Gavel Club of the University of Colombo, where we bring to you the best of the best from the world of public speaking. I am Dinui Amitna,
And I'm Vinukti Smalpula.
and today is going to be a very special interview with a very special group of individuals. It's a rare occasion when a bunch of diverse people come together to form a perfect gang with so much drive and potential. Sharing memories, both happy and sad, and becoming a part of each other's lives is truly a beautiful thing.
So that is exactly what this group of amazing people did, and they have worked wonders together. So without further ado, let me introduce you the executive committee of the Gavel Club of the University of Colombo. Right, so we are having all our wonderful seniors with us joining for this final episode of Journey Hotline. So let's start off with the interview. And my very first question to all who are joining with us is that what made you to join the Gavel Club out of all the clubs that you find in the university? So we can start off with Susaraya.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Vinuk, for that question. So starting off, during the first couple of weeks of university that I had, there were quite a few orientation programs. So luckily, the first 2 weeks of university had to be on site for us. So I had the chance of meeting so many people from different clubs and universities, especially the seniors. And there was one person that I met who's Udita Veerasinghe, the past president of Gavel UOC. And he happened to conduct the orientation program back then. And I was a part of that program. And at the end of the day, it felt like something because I got to talk and I felt the energy that Gavel has, but it just ended there because I could not attend any of the educational meetings afterwards. But later on, I kept coming to meetings because of my own friends. I remember how I used to ask my friend Gavel Dasita, who happened to be one of my very close EXCO members later on, how to join the meetings and how to attend the round robin session and all of that as well. And later on with Gavelia Malmi, who was the vice president of membership, I got into the club and got into an organizing committee. And that's how I stepwise got close to the Gavel Club, and I knew that this was the place for me. But there was one occasion that really made sure that this is the place to stick by. This is not just the skills, but where the passion began. And that was back in February 2021. Unfortunately, I was going for a university event and I was struck by COVID. So once I was struck, I had to go to a quarantine center. And there was this one Zoom meeting that I was randomly asked to join. And it happened to be the executive committee back from the immediate past board, that is. And they had organized, which I figured out later on, was a Zoom meeting just to check up on me and just get to know about me. And that day I knew, okay, this place is something that's special. And that was when I knew, okay, I should give back to this place. And I'm still trying my best. So I hope I answered that question. Back to you.
Yes, Susaraya. So who will be next sharing the special things with us? Dasitaya?
Yeah, thank you, Vinay. So one thing that made me stick with Gavel was everything that Susara told us, and also the vibe and how close we were able to get to the seniors, because in other clubs, seniors were more or less on another level, and here we were able to interact with them closely as friends, and still even after working with them when they are no more involved in the club in official capacity, we still have those friendships going on with them. And that I feel is really nice as a fresher. When you come in, you have so many ideas about what life will be like, but then Gavel was a place that actually flipped all of those ideas around and provided a lot of friendships that I hope will last a long time. So
Yes. Nipuni.
Right. So like Sarah said, my first exposure to Gavel UOC was also the orientation program back in March 2020. So at that day, Uditaya gave us a very informative session about the Gavel UOC, and I think on that same day we had the first educational meeting. So when I went there, so I felt that friendliness and the warmth and comfort that everyone shared, and it like they didn't treat us differently, like thinking we are freshers or anything. Like we like at the very moment I went there, I was a part of them. I was their friend. So that was what actually kept me going in Gavel, the openness of everyone, and like yes, that the comfort we gave each other, the fact that we can be ourselves and make mistakes, and the push we got from everyone to improve ourselves, basically in the evaluations, that's what kept me in Gavel actually. So yeah.
Okay. So next, Chandulaki, would you like to add something?
Thank you, Vinuk. So I think the reason why I initially joined into Gavel and I wanted to try this out was the public speaking aspect. So it was uh, I wanted to improve on my public speaking was why I joined the club. But that's not why I stayed, because once you join the club and you go for a few meetings, you realize that the group of people in here, they are really supportive, and they're always the seniors, the ones who are there. Just like Nipuni just said, the evaluations, the way they were told us, the way they gave our evaluations, it was really encouraging. And within few meetings, you realize that this is a safe space for you to be who you really are and just not worry about being judged or being cornered, because it's such an accepting feeling to come to a Gavel meeting and have everyone just accept you for who you are. So that's really what kept me in Gavel.
Okay. So up next we have Buddhimaya also. Like,
So yeah, talking about my Gavel journey, Susura is the one who convinced me to join Gavel, because to be honest, I wasn't expecting to join Gavel because I know what Gavel was, and speaking was not my strong suit back then. So that's why I didn't Gavel in the beginning. I joined Gavel quite lately, and Susar is the one who convinced me, and also like other interactions with past presidents and vice president. Vice presidents kept me in the Gavel Club and involved me in projects as well. So yeah, as everyone said, the openness, the the friendliness, those are the things that kept me in Gavel and make me into what I am right now.
okay. So up next we have Devmini also. Like, would you like to add something to this discussion of
Yeah,
your journey at Gavel?
yeah, thank you, Vinu. So for me as well, out of a lot of orientations that we went at the beginning of the university, I remember the Gavel orientation was is one of the few that I remember actually, because it was on a roll and we were going for this club and that club. But I always had in mind when I came to uni that I wanted to go join to the Gavel club. So that was a new, but still. So yeah, as everyone said, it was very, it was a non-judgmental and a very safe, inclusive space. So everybody felt free to speak whatever they wanted to, and we were given the opportunity to do that as well. So definitely, what everybody here said is quite relatable to me as well. And you can make any mistake and you can just laugh it off. And after after the meetings as well, after the orientation also, we had like kind of informal talk, and we always have that in Gavel. So I remember when we first joined, and we were joining these meetings, educational meetings. So there's this plenty, and all the seniors, they also like do random jokes and stuff just to keep us engaged in the conversation, right? Just do from whatever they pick up from the conversations, they just keep going on. It doesn't make total sense sometimes, but still it makes you feel like you're part of them, and it makes you feel happy. So yeah, that's why I also retained the Gavel, and it's one of the best decisions so far. So yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Dasunaki would like to add something to that.
Yeah, thank you, Vinod. So, like, the main reason, like adding to what Chandula said, I think the main reason why I joined the club was because I wanted to improve public speaking, because I get really nervous. I had stage fright. So I really wanted to get rid of that. And I knew this was the place for that. But like, just like Chandula said, it's not the reason why I stayed here. It's the environment. Like, you can make tons of mistakes. No one's going to judge you. You can be yourself, and you can different organizing committees, and you can have a lot of experience. And one thing is, especially because I wanted to meet people from different faculties, um, I just didn't want to end my university life uh, just surrounded by my faculty only, but I just wanted to know how the things are going in other faculties too. So Gavel helped me to do most of these things, and for that I'm really grateful for that.
Right, thank you. Finally, so we have Ravindaya. So is there anything that you would like to add to this discussion?
Well, I was always keen on public speaking, but I wasn't really the most forthcoming person. So I think that Gavel really helped me. And like, I remember, like, I like to told this story quite a few times. Like, the first Gavel meeting was the Urdu meeting, and like the vibe that was there, like the games, the round robin session, and like just looking at Gavelia Aloka, and like, I mean, like, I think that's what made me stay, like, although my like interest in public speaking made me like apply and join the Gavel Club, like the vibe is what made me stay. Yeah.
So like, having listened to all your wonderful journeys, like we feel really inspired to continue this journey at Gavel UOC. Okay, so we are moving on to the next part of the interview, and this is we are going to cherish wonderful memories of you at Gavel UOC. So let's talk about the most memorable moment that each of you guys were having, right? So we'll go in the order, starting from Susaraya. So what is the wonderful memory you have at Gavel UOC?
That's a really difficult question because I can't think of a wonderful memory. I would almost have a 15 GB whole drive folder dedicated towards that alone. So first off, I would go chronologically, and I'll try my best to keep it short. So first off, one thing that's really close to my heart is Speak Out 1.0, a project that started from scratch, which was just an idea given, and it was just the people who were around us who made it to the executive committee eventually, and who also stuck with us even till the very end of the executive committee, even while not being in the executive committee. That's the kind of bond that project actually ended up making. And those friendships that develop through other projects, but Speak Out has such a close place in my heart because the vibe in it and all of the good values that we managed to bring out actually served as a foundation so that I had that benchmark to hit when I later on became the president and organized other projects. I tried my best to make sure that vibe of Speak Out that happened in the online platform went into the on-site platform, and we were able to make many memories and beautiful things as well, which hopefully we might get to hear in Journey Hotline 3.0 when the next executive committee comes in. But for me, Speak Out 1.0 is the place that changed it all and just accelerated everything.
Right. So, Chandulaki, what is your memorable moment that you had at Gavel UOC?
So it's actually very hard to pick one memorable moment when it comes to Gavel memories, but I would pick the Gavel trip. Out of many memorable memories, I'd pick the Gavel trip. So we went to the Talpe beach, and it was a full day of being in the sun. And after we came back home, you could see everyone had gone darker by a few shades. Everyone came out of the sea a different color. But it was such a fun experience going in the bus. We were singing in the bus, and I think it was my first university trip as well, because of COVID, we never were able to go on our first year or second year batch trip. So that's my most wonderful memory with people that I could really have a lot of fun with.
Right. So, Nipunyaki, was it the same for you, or like is it a different memory at Gavel UOC?
Unfortunately, I can't talk about Gavel trip here because I get so many accusations and many things. So yeah, so I'll talk about something else. As Susara said, Speak Out 1.0 was like a turning point in my life, because I had to head the editorial team. That's the first time I sort of did a leadership position. So yeah, and those memories, like we had to go through thick and thin with our friends. So I think that's what made us stuck together until the very end of the year. And also being installed in front of a crowd in the stage of Nat, holding the gavel, giving my oath. That also, because until the very end we were not sure if we should hold the installation part of the ceremony or not. We were so unsure until the previous day. So yeah, I didn't know it was something like this, that it will give this vibe to me. So yes, that was something came by surprise. So that was also a very memorable situation to me. But I'd like to specifically mention one, that is Wheels of Hope. I think that was organized by Susara and a bunch of can't say new business second years, current second years. So that was the day that I actually realized what power the words hold. So like we spent a fun day with a few girls in a girls hostel. So I thought, like, at the end of the day they'll get bored of us. Like we went there to sort of give an insight about public speaking and sort of help with their English language. But after going there, we realized that it's not really practical to do it with them. So we just did a bunch of games. I thought that they'll get bored with it and thinking that, well, what is this? We have to study. Like, why are we here playing like this here? I thought they'll think that. But after reading their feedbacks, like after spending the day, we went to the Dehibala beach and everyone got together and read those small notes they wrote for us. Like, I realized that our words, our random words that we told them, our random inspirations, encouragements we gave them had meant them a lot. Like I honestly didn't expect that the random things we say will mean that much to them. So that's when I realized the power of Gavel. Like we unknowingly had become people who always say inspirational things, like who always help people to improve themselves, like from the most random things we say. That's when I realized that words hold a lot of power that we don't even know of, and like just being nice to a person can make a long lasting impression of someone. So yeah, so I think Wheels of Hope will be an unforgettable day of my entire life. So yeah.
Okay, so we'll be moving to Dasita. Yeah, what is your unforgettable memory at Gavel UOC?
Uh, so for me, it would be something completely different, and I suppose very few people here could relate to that as well. Um, it would be GavelCon 2021. I think only Dasuni and Chandula out of the people who were here were there. And initially, I started off thinking, okay, it's a conference. I'm probably going to sleep through the entire thing, and that is what is generally expected of it. But it turned out to be this whole different experience. And people were always talking, having fun. There was a lot of interaction and plenty of laughs. And it was a full different experience. And also we got to stay the night and then go back on the next day as well. So that had a different set of and I think that was my one of the first things that made me think, okay, this place is different compared to what I would expect, because it was not only our club as well, it was a lot of other clubs from all over the island, and the collective vibe was still the same, and that was a truly wonderful thing to experience for me. And yeah, over to you.
Right. So I saw like Buddhimaya was eagerly waiting to share his memory at Gavel UOC. So Buddhimaya, what is your most unforgettable memory at Gavel UOC?
First of all, Bandura, did you remember what happened at the night of the GavelCon? Because I wasn't there, but I heard stories what happened. So yeah, with that, the most memorable, the memory I have is starting Journey Hotline. Because Aloka was VPTR at that time, and he asked someone to volunteer for a new project, and I volunteered. And he said that, Macham, we had to do something about YouTube. And I said, I'm going to catch up this one and smash this idea about interviews to his head. So that's how we started Journey Hotline. And even I came up with the name because we were in a hurry to start the project and end it quickly, because it was end of their term. So the most memorable part is the people, the bunch we gathered to make Journey Hotline a success, because we didn't like put a form or like anything else to make people come to us, but just pick random people without knowing what they can do even. So then we categorize them into certain things and gave tasks to for them to do, and like they did quite well, because Journey Hotline season 1 was a success, and I'm happy to see that it's continuing for the second season as well. So kudos to everyone. And the other part that I can remember is the pitching part, because there were complete strangers that I have pitched what Journey Hotline is and got embraced. Even I talked to Banuka Harishchandra at Search Global, and like he slammed the door to me at once, so that we couldn't get him. And also, like, we had so many personalities such as Mania, Joel Odskoon on the show as well. So I think it was a huge success, and one that is one of the most memorable projects and events memories that I have in Gavel.
Right. So up next we have Devmaniaki. Would you like to share what is your unforgettable memory at Gavel UOC?
Yes. So, I mean, I could relate to little bits and pieces of what everybody told here, but so I thought of picking something different, because you never run out of memories of Gavel, so why repeat one twice, right? Okay, so I would pick the YMB University visit. I think most of us were there. So a lot of us who are here today were there as well that day. So it was at first when we were going there, and then it was a complete like a bunch of strangers, but still how we got together with the now second years, yes, and then how we kind of represented ourselves as Gavel UOC to a bunch of people who didn't know anything about it, and how they responded to us, and how we could uh, like make a whole house full of people, energetic, and kind of give them our vibe as well, and make them do those activities with us, and vibe with us basically, without being too serious, of course. So I think with what we have been doing for an entire year, I think that's kind of like a outcome that you will expect, right? How much creative that our Gavaliers can be. And I mean, we are kind of a little bit hesitant to do a table topic at our club itself and go in front and talk. But on that day, everybody kind of went out of their comfort zones, and everybody did something. Everybody added something to make that day memorable as it was. So it was really really nice. And I would also like to say, like, because these are all physical events, there were some actually virtual educational meetings also that remain in my mind, because I thought of mentioning, because it's virtual and might go unmentioned here. I don't know if that's a word. Anyway, so the virtual education meet that I remembered was the squid goals, the Halloween thing that we organized. So yeah, I won't go much on that, but that also was one of a kind experience, because it was like it brought out the creativity, and I remember getting together and kind of organizing the game. So it was a really nice meeting for us. So yeah, that too.
Okay, so next we have Ravindaya. What is your unforgettable memory at Gavel UOC?
Well, I think like there are like just like Susaraya said, like I could actually have a drive, I could have actually have a really big folder with all the memories. But I think that one memory that I will cherish is the Gavel trip. Like, so I live in Nigambu, and like I remember like the day before I went to Cavalier Sanadu's place and stayed the night. Like I remember like till that like just leaving the house, my parents were just scolding me like going on all these trips. And like I mean get into Thalpe, just playing catch with all the Cavaliers and like everything, just visiting the golf fort and then like playing cricket. And like I think that's something I'll just like that just goes through my mind like every time I just hear the words goal or south. And I think the other major thing that the best memory I have is the WSL workshop that Devmiyaki mentioned. So like Susarai had told me to give a small get a little bit feedback from them. So I just remembered like I'm just going to go up there and roast the first people I see that catches my eye. So unfortunately, that was I believe Dasuniaki and Pamudi, and like just being a like I wasn't the most public person. Like I had these insecurities, but like just going up on that stage and just getting to hear that they were inspired by us, by Gavel UOC, by me, by Susaraya, by Chanduraka, by like Netri, by Objexco, and like how they work. So I think that like you really can't top that. So yeah, those are the most cherished memories that I have working with this expo.
Okay, so last not least, we have Dasunyaki. Would you like to share your unforgettable memory about Gavel UOC?
Yeah, so adding to what Chandula and Ravinder said, my most unforgettable memory would be also the Gavel trip, because I'm the one who usually travels from Gaul to Colombo. So this time I just had to wake up around 7 and, like chill a little bit and just come. So there was transport too, so no worries at all. Um, and I remember going to Thalwe Beach, and while others were having a bath, I mean, I tried to trade a T-shirt from Ruvinda, but it was like too big for me, like a frock. So just forgot about that. And then started having fun around with Netri and them. I remember Naduni fell, and like we were so scared that she was like fainted or something while Netri was swinging in that coconut tree. I don't know, the tire thing, and it was so fun. And other than that, I should mention one of most memorable one. The first most memorable one would be during 2021, we organized Enliven. So that was the first time I applied for an organizing committee, and I was super nervous, like even applying for that. But then, like it turned out really well, because like we had practice sessions late at night because Nipuni was studying. So Nipuni wanted to have late night practice sessions, and we watched Friends, and we did everything else apart from practicing. But yeah, we practiced too. So yeah, those two would be the most memorable memories out of all the good memories I have.
Right, so it was really wonderful to cherish all your wonderful memories at Gavel UOC. So since we were talking for some time, and we are having our exco joining with us for this interview, and it will be definitely incomplete without some fun games, right? So we are moving on to our first game of this Journey Hotline episode 6. And yes, so the very first game for the day is who's most likely to, right? So I will be raising a question to each one of you, exco members, so you can pick the most suitable person for this question out of the fellow exco members, right? Okay, so we'll start off with very own president, ex-president Susaraya. Right. Who's most likely to answer the phone if you call in the middle of the night? Just one straight answer out of these exco members.
Wow, okay. That's a very difficult question. I'm actually thinking back. Well, it's definitely not Nipuni, because Nipuni is someone who, even if she is online and you call, she might not answer the phone sometimes. Well, I feel it would be Cavalier Buddhima, because he usually answers as soon as I call. So yeah, I feel so.
Okay. Next question. That would be to Buddhimaya. Who's most likely to have a crush on your sibling?
What hell? I think they have never seen my sister. No, 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 I think they have.
I have.
He
Yeah.
sent out the letters, so
Yeah, through Instagram or somewhere else.
I
So
mean, he looks better than Buddhima, so like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
goes without
Yeah,
saying.
I totally agree with that, Madam. I totally agree. So not Vandura, because I'm not gonna mention that. So not Vandura. Then we only have two other boys, Ruinda and Susara. So, I'll go with I'll go with
On a side note, Buddhima is the 21st century.
yeah, yes. So yeah.
I'm just going to say,
Oh my God. Then yeah, I can pick a girl here. I think it will be easy for me. Uh, I'll go with Devini. since
Okay.
she
Thanks,
Okay.
Budina.
Right. So the next question would be to Nipunyaki. Who would most likely embarrass themselves in front of their crush?
Wait, I have to
What's
scan
all with these
everyone's
crushes?
faces and remember everything they did and their crushes. Why did Madhura turn off the video though? um, DJ is one. DJ is one, but I think that the most suitable answer would be myself, because that's what I usually do. No matter if it's in front of my crush or anything, I just embarrass myself wherever I go. So I think it will be me.
Yes, it will be you. I'm not sure if we can interrupt, but still, it will be you.
Yeah.
Okay, next question would be to Dasuniaki. Right. Who's most likely to bake you a birthday cake?
Okay, so I don't think the boys will make a birthday cake. So they're excluded.
Interruption, ruin the mic. I don't know.
Ruin.
the mic.
You never know.
So yeah, so let's exclude them now. I think Chandula is a good baker or something, because I remember like writing an introduction and searching for about her hobbies and stuff. So I think Dasita sent me that she's good at bakery stuff. So she might make, and Nipuni and Devmini will decorate. So it will be like a entire thing. So yeah, all the three of them.
The entire exco will be preparing your birthday cake, right?
Yeah, then that wouldn't be a birthday cake, but yeah, that also can happen.
Okay, right. So the next question would be to Devmaniaki. Who's most likely to fake their birthday at a restaurant for a free cake?
Okay. I think we did this once. I can't remember who did it, but still, anyway, we did it. Okay. For a birthday cake, I don't know. I think it will be Susara himself, because he goes into further, and he goes beyond limits when we are talking about but free stuff. So yeah, I think he's the one. He will be, yeah. But yes, of course, he has this he has this ego, so he'll probably order someone else to do it, but still he will be the one who initiates that. Okay, so he wouldn't do it himself, I would say, but yeah, he would give the idea and make someone else do it, of course.
Okay. Right. Next would be to Chandulaki. Who's most likely to fake a foreign accent?
I'm still thinking. Who's most likely to fake a foreign accent? I feel like who would be the best at faking a foreign accent would be DJ. For some reason, I feel like she has the kind of voice that you could really use for a lot
I
of accents.
vaguely
So I'm
remember
going to go
Dasutaya
with
speaking in Italian one day though.
Really? Can't you demonstrate?
Right. So next okay. Ravindaya, can you tell us who's most likely to become a meme?
Ooh, okay, so this is an easy question because I've made memes for almost everyone here. So I
Out of
think,
the many memes that you have created, like who would be the
yeah,
spotlight?
I think I made the most memes for Dasuniaki, I think. Because like she has very hilarious over exaggerations of certain reactions and everything. So like I think that will definitely be Dasuniaki.
Okay. So the final question to Dasitaya. Who's most likely to get insulted by a child?
Insulted by
Child.
a child.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll twist your question. So insulted by a child. So someone who would get insulted by being compared to a child, I feel like that would be Dasuni. Dasuni, because out of the members of the EXCO. So I twisted your question just a little bit.
Okay.
Hope that's okay. But yeah,
Nice one.
I feel like Dasuni
I
would
think
be.
it's illegal to like turn the questions like that.
No, you can.
How that is not okay.
Dasuniaki planning revenge at the moment on me and Dasitaya.
Right. So like
Take the next
we'll see
question from now on.
when we go to our next question round, we'll see like who gets to get the revenge and all, right? Okay, so now y'all as the executive committee of Gavel UOC, right? So you was the leading part of the Gavel club, right? So now how has it helped you guys to develop and hone your leadership skills and creativity, being the exco of the Gavel club? To start off with Susaraya.
Yes, Vinuk. So this is something that I have actually thought to myself so many times during the whole tenure as well, because at every single step I have learned something. Just like you mentioned, one day before the installation ceremony, that actually tested the limits because we were actually panicked. We didn't know what to do. It was an event that came right after 2 months of straight up exams. So almost everyone in the exco as well as the members in the club were quite stuck with academics and everything else going on in their lives because it was all crushed together and the schedules were really packed. And this event comes down the line and the organizing committee is doing a perfect job. And one day before the event, when we reach into an obstacle, there were moments where I was rethinking myself, and then some words that I've heard from the seniors in the past comes to the mind. And I actually remember myself, like we were having lunch on the day before the installation ceremony, and I actually tried my best not to show it out, not to show the panic out to the organizing committee, and tried our best to absorb. And that's one thing that I have learned throughout the year, because no matter what happens, there's a whole saying that's there in our country which says, whatever happens inside the house stays inside the house. And just like that, that's one leadership quality that I have learned, where whatever the issues that come up, it should be resolved and it should be solved within. And when looking from outside, you should be able to look at them and say, okay, they are doing their best and it's a good job. And that actually helped me throughout the whole term. And having a team who also would think the same way definitely helped. So that was how Gavel installation ceremony was just one example, but this happened throughout almost every event, even Oration 2.0, talk about Speak Out, and even the online events that we had. So the list just keeps going on. But the lesson that I've learned that will stick for the rest of my life.
Right. Okay. So, Nipunyaki, is there anything that you would like to add to that?
Yes. So back then I was not a leader. Like I'm not sure if I still am, but like it was hard for me to. Am I lagging?
No, you're audible.
Okay. So I was saying that it was hard for me to do the leadership part because I remember in Speak Out 1.0, it was so hectic. I was trying to put the whole team together, but yeah, but mostly it was like me doing all the stuff by myself. I just didn't know how to get things done by others, but throughout the year I slowly learned it, and yes, I think I am better now than then. And another thing that I learned from being an EXCO member of Gavel is the team spirit. Like to count on the team no matter what happens, to do your best to hold the team spirit. I think that's another like a valuable lesson I learned as being an EXCO member.
Right. So you guys being a past exco, you all have been amazing leaders right throughout this journey. So there are a lot more things to discuss with you guys, but before that, we'll move to our second game round and talking about this game, right? So I will be asking each one of you a separate question, and y'all can try answer that question, right? So that question would be based on your experience at level and something. Those would be like if your milestones at Gavel journey. So each one of y'all will be receiving a question, so you can try out answering that. Okay, so let's go ahead with our very own ex-president Susaraya. What did you feel when you first learned that a butterfly is an animal and not a plant?
Well, thank you for mentioning that I learned, which means it's a fact. And I'm overjoyed because right now is the moment that it's being corrected, which I have actually claimed that it's going to be one of my research topics if I ever get to do a research, that is. And well, Gavel Nipuni here would not quite agree, but lately she has started to agree for some reason. But yes, I'm overjoyed at this very moment because now I got to know that butterfly is really a flower. Thank you, Vinu.
Okay. Next up, Dasitaya. What's the deal with the bicycle handle?
See, these sort of questions are the things that's gonna get our YouTube channel demonetized. So, I mean, you guys work so hard to get it up there. I'll tell this to all of the freshers and all the little kids that watch this. So it's about, bicycles, and, I had a foresight and how important it's going to be. And now you can see there are so many people riding bicycles to work, to uni. And I mean, that was a foresight I had. And people who actually listened and looked at me during that time, they benefit from that now because they brought bicycles those days. But those who didn't and those who made fun of me, like the people who are here and, everybody else, I mean, they are feeling the burn right now. So I'll end with that.
Okay, thank you. And next up, Nipuni Akki. Now, you being a Gavel mom, we would say, right? So what is the biggest stunt that you had to pull to bring in newbies to the club?
Should I? Okay, pardon me for my tube blindness, but I don't get any roasting here. But the biggest stunt that I pulled, I think, well, I'm not sure if I should say this, but there are most of the time there are kids who are afraid to talk, but what I recommend to them is to come and listen. You really don't have to talk, and in desperate times I'd say I tell them to join after the round robin session so that they don't have to speak those 20 seconds, so you actually listen to what others say. So you can learn first while trying to talk on the other day. So I think that's the biggest stunt I've pulled to take members in.
Okay, hopefully we'll pretend that the newbies won't be watching this video before they are joining Gavel. Okay, next up, we have Ruvinda. Yeah. What was the actual reason behind going for the grand final of Speech Weaver?
Speech Weaver.
The grand
Weaver
final.
done.
Yeah, so
Speech
actual
was
reason.
done by Japur, right? So I think, yeah, so Nate was there. So as a distinguished member of the Gavel Club and as a friend of Nate 3, uh, uh, one of my main purposes was actually to support her in her journey to be crowned as the speech weaver. Yeah.
Okay.
If I may add something
That
there,
says a lot. That
for
answer says
people
a
who
lot.
want to, for people who want to know the real reason for why Ruinda went for speech weaver, whenever Ruinda wears a tie, just look at his tie pin, or if you all get a chance to look at his laptop, even the Google screensaver, the Google, the background picture would give you an idea of why he actually went there, for people who want to know the
Oh,
real answer.
Or even the Instagram post, like,
Yeah.
might be.
Just one click away at all that.
So like, many people know the real reason behind Ruvindaya's grand final. Okay. Chandulaki. Now, we want to know the secret behind your radiant smile. And we have got rumors saying that many people do join Gavel to see that smile. So what do you have to say about that?
It depends on, let's keep it, how do you say it? I'll keep it uh, kid friendly and say sometimes when there are special people in every single meeting you join into, it just naturally comes out. Back to you.
Okay. Right. Okay. For next, Tasuniaki. Now we have got some rumors about you as well. So we got to know that you once worked as a tour guide, where you would create fake stories about gold to attract more tourists. Is it true?
Oh, I know. I know this must be Netri because, like, yeah, I not fake stories. Like, I told them, I didn't tell the exact time period, but like I told them that this was in this era, so they can guess. Likewise, I mean, I can't tell the entire time period of everything happened in Gaul because there's so many things. So like I wasn't fake. I did that for free of charge. Usually I do it for money. So for Gavel, I did it for free of charge. Yeah, it was totally true. I mean,
Yeah, even for the trip, like we didn't need to get any visa to travel to Gaul, and that was Asunya queues there.
yeah, I sponsored.
But he actually walked.
Next time, if any one of y'all need to have a full trip at Goal, you can contact Dasuniaki so she can, share
Yes.
some
Yes,
important.
no worries, for free.
One sad part was we had walked 2 kilometers just to get to the ground, which is apparently just 300 meters away. So that's
Because I wanted to show them, what Gaul really means, like not just the ground. There's so many things. So we took the long road, but like we got to the place where we wanted.
Okay, that sounds interesting. And the next, Devmaniaki, we heard that you share your comb with your dog, right? So is that true? Or does your dog have any hair routines that you would like to share with everyone else here?
I mean, okay. That yes, as a matter of fact, I do, and she's pretty clean. Nobody should care about stuff like that. I mean,
Like, I'm concerned about the dog.
I
know.
I don't know. I don't know. Okay, it's okay. Like Nipuni actually gave me a comb for my birthday. Also, being concerned about that, but still, okay. I washed it. I washed it. It was one time, and I washed it. So yes. I watched it beforehand, and yes, my dog doesn't have any diagnosable diseases as of yet, so I think it is okay.
Okay, so the final question to Buddhimaya. So why are you the perfect Sri Lankan man?
Brave Sinhalese man to be specific.
Yeah, that's what brave Sinhalese
With
man.
strong shoulders and wearing regal blue.
Blue sarong.
She specifically commented on his dress also.
Actually, I don't know why you are questioning me. Like, you have seen me in person, and that, and I think you have witnessed the Sinhala man inside of me. I think it was it Kavin. I can't remember her name. Yeah, Kavin, and I can't remember the moment. Was it at the Avudu thing, man?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a-
yeah. I was
He
wearing
just
a
pretends he don't remember it because
I was
he
wearing a
feels
Yeah,
sarong.
no,
everything.
Actually, that was one of
I think
an
he's answering the
embarrassing
question.
moment.
This is why he's the real Sri Lankan man. He doesn't remember, he gets it so much. Oh.
I don't know. I don't have anything to say on that because like I do agree with actually a lot, and I think you guys also will agree with me. And nothing to say on that.
Right, so the credit of this session goes to our editorial team to finding out all these pretty good questions about ESCO. So right, so with that we come to an end of the first part of our interview today. So Dinovi will be taking out this session from here, and over to you, Dinovi.
Yes, that was a very fun session of roasting each other, each of the EXCO members, and yes, and learning about the inside jokes. So let's get back to our questions. So the Gavel Club organized a lot of fun and exciting events last year. So none of these events would have been successful without the blood, sweat, and tears you guys shed to organize it. What sort of challenges did you have to face when managing such events? Let's go with Deominiak.
Yeah, so so I would like to repeat what I said about how we organized for Halloween night. So squid goals, I think that's pretty relevant to your question. So it was like the talk of the talk of the town those days, back in those days, because it just finished the whole series. And a lot of us were actually watching that, and we were sharing this different perspectives. You don't agree, Ravindra, is it? Anyway, so yeah, Nipuni just watched that because of the educational meeting for your information. So we, a lot of us did a lot of commitments, and we had different perspective. Some people liked it and some people did not like it at all. But at the end of the day, it was the talk of the town, and that's what we do for to keep up the excitement of the club. So I think that's some place where all the creativity of the members came out, and we were having fun dressing as those the people who had their faces covered in masks and all. And I remember me and Nipuni, we were and we were actually getting ready, and we were sharing snaps and all. So it was pretty exciting, and yeah, that would be one of the memories that I yeah.
Yes. So let's ask from Buddhimaya about his idea as the co-creator of Journey Hotine, or the creator of Journey Hotine.
Actually, I lost track with the question.
Okay, so it's like the question is, what sort of challenges did you have to face when managing like the events you guys had to organize?
Yeah, the biggest challenge I had was time management because I'm not going to speak about a specific event or a project, but throughout the term, time management was a barrier for me because with all the academics and baseball and Gavel club things and the other club things. Initially, I was the digital strategist because I had less responsibilities just to make posts and to look after a certain timeline on post in post. But after certain events, I got promoted to vice president public relations, and like it was a huge step up for me because there were so many new things that I had to do, and because of all that workload, I actually lost track with some of the work. So that's why time management was like a biggest barrier for me throughout the Gavel term.
Yes, I think that's a very relatable challenge to all of us. So let's ask for one more idea from Shandula.
Okay, so I think so everyone talked about events and things that we did. So I'll just take a weekly challenge, educational meeting. So educational meetings, they happen once a week. So we have to make sure that it's not repetitive, that every single meeting is exciting. So I think Dasiti should get a lot of credit on managing all the educational side, but the entire exco got together and all the teams, like we had specially, so we started out the whole once a month having a themed meeting thing. So I think those to me, because I think that it was a challenge to keep the educational meetings interesting, engaging, and also educational. So you had to balance both sides. So I think it's like the little things that happen every week. So that's like a continuous challenge. So yeah, so that would be, I think, could be seen as a challenge that we faced weekly.
Yes, that's totally understandable. Coming up with themes for challenge for weekly meetings is like a big challenge, and I've actually understood how hard it is. So let's get to our next question. So you guys met as strangers, but Gavel has brought you together. And how has being in the exco strengthened that bond among all of you? Ruindaya.
So I think like I wasn't really planning on applying for the exco to start with because I mean I was still a junior and like I mean let's be honest, there were far more like qualified people for my role within like in the like May span of the second year, like in those days. But like I think like working with all of them, like you like all like Susara, Chandula, Lasunyaki, Nipuniaki, Devgini, Buddhima, and Dasita, like I think that really has shaped me on how I conduct myself as like as a team leader, as like someone who's a part of a team, like being a little bit more punctual and like actually I mean I have to give credit to a lot of people for actually helping me to like improve my creativity. So my main role was actually handling the PR side and like making posts. So working with them was a treat, to be honest. Like there's no other way to put it. Like I've learned a lot. I've gained a lot of friends. Like I mean, like they are basically like a family that I gained. So yeah.
Yes. What about Dasitaya? What do you have to say about?
For me, it would be mainly learning a balance between things. So, I mean, from the time I was in school, I've been kind of pushed from home to balance stuff and try and do everything, but then you come to a point where you realize that you can't do everything as well. You have to limit yourself to a certain extent according to your capabilities, because there are people who can handle that, they have the capacity, but then there are the people who also don't have the capacity to do all of that. And so you have to set your limits and find out where that is. And I think that is one of the most important things that I learned from this.
Yes. Let's go to Dasuniaki. What's your idea?
So strengthening the bond in the sense like I remember when we were planning Pend, there was this workshop and I had to stay in Colombo, so I had nowhere else to go. So Nipuni offered me a chance to stay, and it was really fun too. So likewise, like when it comes to installation, I remember Devmani asked me, like she offered me like whenever I come to Colombo, I can stay there. So like that, there was a lot of help. I mean, all of these people I met through organizing committees, being in the Gavel. Ruvinda Buddhima I met through the executive committee, but like all of these people are like super easy to work with, and like you can be yourself and sort of rely that like whatever happens, like you can eventually do this. So like that, I mean, I think that's what the main thing about being in the exco. Like, you know, for an example, like I got to Nipuni was my friend, but like I got to know her well, like staying at her place and doing all the crazy stuff that we did. So like that, I mean, with everyone, I think that's the same.
Yes. So with all those nostalgic memories, let's go to our next game session. And it's another chance to roast all the EXCO members. So it's called That Pic. And we will be showing you a picture we received from anonymous well-wishers. And all you've got to do is explain the story behind that picture. So let's go ahead with our very first picture. Who's going to explain that very first picture? Susaraya?
I guess that does come onto my head. And yes, okay, this picture brings back 1,000 and a bit more memories, 1,060 something to be exact, because whatever that happened in this room, this was on the day of Wheels of Hope. So I'll give you a bit of context. That's perhaps one of the most wholesome things that has ever happened in Gavel UOC, where we went, as Nipuni mentioned earlier in this episode itself, where we went to this girls' home and we taught them. And they were actually teaching them. If you look right behind, there's a little door. And when you go through that door, you go into the hallway where everyone was like hanging out with the children and playing with each other and like having a really wholesome time. And then here we were actually recreating superhero movies, and we were actually having a really great time because we were actually preparing for the event that was coming up next. And as I remember, the first movie idea was brought out by Gavel Sahan, so who is also in this meeting right now. So Sahan brought out the idea, then Sanjula picked up on it, and we just created a superhero movie one after the other. And I'm not going to tell about the context, but this picture is perhaps the most wholesome out of everything that happened that day. Well, if I say that, I think those who know will know. Yeah, back to you, Lily.
All right. So, okay, that was a really nice story behind that picture. So let's go on to our next fun pic. It's more of a video than a picture. Anyone who wants to explain? I see Nipuniaki in the picture and Susaraya again. And Buddhimaya as well. Buddhimaya, would you like to explain what's happening in that picture?
Actually, I can't remember what the date was. Like, but actually, it should be an educational meeting. Must be.
Well, I also
Oration
remember
series.
the full story.
It was the box that was.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
said box, right?
yeah. But what was inside that box? Can you play that again?
It on, like we from
Can you play
went
the video?
downstairs and left it on. I remember I was at the fifth floor, like we were at the fifth floor with him.
Yeah, we were at the fifth floor. But must be that Avru thing, eh? All the cavalier and stuff.
I think it's a t-shirt box.
T-shirt box. It's a
Ah,
t-shirt
the
box. Yeah.
t-shirt box. So
So,
that t-shirt box has traveled so many places. Have to say that.
yeah, so I think what we did was we were supposed to carry them downstairs, but we took everything except one, and we kept one single box right in the middle of the lift. So when the people who are remaining in the fifth floor opens it, like it looks like a creepy box that's gonna be explored in 3, 2, 1 seconds. I think, yeah, that's what we tried to do, and I think it worked sort of.
Well, I was confused to see that, but I didn't go towards the bomb. But yeah, I remember the bomb.
So Susarai is the one who
was all
got
Nipuni's
scared
idea.
and creeped out.
That was all Nipuni's idea.
Yeah. We heard he screaming to the ground floor.
Oh, really, Nipun? Okay. Actually, I was thinking, okay, who the hell was clumsy enough to leave a box and just let the lift go? That was my first thought, by the way. Turns out it was planned.
All right, so let's get on to our next pick and let's see if we can roast Susarai with that pick as well. Another video. Okay, now we have someone very specific here. This Dasita, yeah? Dasita, would you like to explain what's happening here?
So that was, I was actually under quite a bit of stress in that video, even though I'm sort of laughing. I didn't realize I was laughing also, because I actually forgot to bring my laptop and we were having the meet. This was during the oration semi-finals, right after that. So we were going to have an education meeting after that. I hadn't finalized the agenda and I left my laptop at home. So there was no way I could type up an agenda. So I had to find an agenda. I had to borrow Sai's laptop first and then make an agenda from scratch and then do all of that before the meeting started, which was going to start in about, I don't know, I guess half an hour. We had about half an hour, 45 minutes gap between the two. And so that was that. And this was all part of, I think, Netri and Susara's vlog series on oration, which was never aired, unfortunately, for some reason. And yeah, I think that is what this.
And I think this was the moment that the Netri's phone accidentally got lost, and like everyone was searching for it. Something like that happened.
Yeah, accidentally.
Accidentally, yeah.
All right, so let's get on with our next picture then.
I think this is more of a roast for the current president than us.
Yeah, not to us.
Buddhima, your friend was there in the video you saw?
What friend?
Your admirer.
Yeah.
We have Susaraya once again and Buddhimaya.
You gotta share with sounds and
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we don't do it.
that was one of the vlogs you made.
Yeah.
On oration.
Shavi has ruined the what's happening there.
I think this was after announcing the semifinals, right? So our current vice president had just got her new iPhone and she had started her new career as a YouTube vlogger. And so I believe so I think that somehow someone had actually hid her phone. I don't know who. And she was just like running around here and there, just blaming everyone, telling, "Hey, give me my phone, give me my phone." And then Susura just took it and started recording and just doing a vlog. I think that's what happened here.
Okay, so again, it's a roast on our current president. Okay, so let's get on to our next picture. Okay, now it's Susaraya. You can explain.
Chennai Express. This was one day before oration, and we were actually out of tablecloth. And it was up to me and Sanaru. We had to go back to we had to go to PETA actually, and we tried to get a tablecloth out of nowhere. And then we definitely found a really good deal. And on the way, we got hungry and may or may have not eaten the samosa. But turns out the place that we bought the cloth was called Chennai Silks. And while we were coming, obviously we did a blog. And in that blog, we talked about the silk. And then we figured out, okay, we are passing the Fort railway station, so why not go there and take another picture? And that is this picture, and we made sure we pointed out to the Chennai just so that it looks like we came in the Chennai Express, all the way from Chennai to PETA. And yeah, that's the backstory.
There are so many fun memories behind oration, I see. So, okay, let's share our next picture. Nipuniaki.
So this is one of the most impossible times to divide two kottu plates between four kottu greedy people. So I was struggling with these forks and spoons to divide everything among everyone, but yeah. So
you've been trying to find a logical solution.
yeah, actually trying to find a logical solution, but ended up Sanjula and Susara eating the most part of it, while Saniru and I had to share just a small part. Yeah, so and Sanjula is pretty good at taking weird pictures of me, so this is one of those moments.
Living up to the name of Gavel Mom.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, next picture. What do you have to say about this picture, Buddhimaya and Susaraya? Both of you are there in the picture.
I'm just an innocent standby. And Susara, do you have anything to say?
Buddhima, yours looks more sus than mine do, like that.
Susara, I can tell you.
But
something
Susara seems to
about
be
the
enjoying it
Gada.
more than Buddhima though.
Well, I am just dancing. I was like, there's an Indian song, yes.
But the camera was focused on you, not me.
Yeah, I think that was.
I mean, I focused the camera to get both of you in the frame.
Really?
Yeah, I figured
You better answer this question. I think that.
Yeah, you better. Why did you took this photo?
Well, I saw two of my friends dancing, so I thought that by taking this photo, it might be a good memory for them.
And look where it has landed. Wow.
Actually, I feel sorry for Jitaka.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Sadushi as well. Like they are not even involved in this, and now they are on YouTube.
Okay. Ruinda, you're taking a picture, ended up on YouTube as well. Ruinda, so congrats. So let's get on with the next picture. Susana is in quite a lot of pictures. I think no one else can explain it other than you. Or was there anyone else there?
Not from the exco, from the current exco sadly, but yeah, I think on the other side it was Chamishka and Netri. So yeah, perhaps I was a little too active. So yeah, this was before Asian. Yeah, so this is before Asian semis, as I remember, and like 2 days before, one day before, so many eventful things happened that day, and we were hungry, and we were supposed to have a meeting with the chief judge at 8:30 p.m. and that was our like goal number one. We had to be home by 8:30 p.m. no matter what. That's like the goal. And then everything else landed on top of that. We had to get some printouts and we had to go get some like photographs, blah 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 blah. And well, we got hungry and we decided to put food over all of that. So we went to Sultan Palace where we ordered biryani, and this was a chocolate milkshake. It was very, very sweet. For some reason, it was too sweet. And just to add to it, we ended up ordering gulab jamun, and we gave a whole reaction video to that as well because it was the first time Chamishka tried gulab jamun. And yes, there are so many videos, and I'm not going to tell. I impersonated one of the MasterChef judges, and yes, that may stay there. And it's only the people at Sultan Palace and the four people who were there will know about it. And this picture speaks a billion words. And by the way, we could not make it to the meeting by 8:30. And fortunately, the judge called me at 8 p.m. and mentioned that he had a power cut and the meeting was postponed to 9:30 p.m. So luckily, we had a memory as well.
And through these photos, the world is secretly getting to know about the relationship you had with Saniru.
Yes,
That,
yes, exactly.
the thing, the fling.
Like that look, though, it melts my heart.
Susar is looking innocent there. Weirdly.
Anyway, innocent memory.
Okay, I don't know how you guys managed to eat gulab jamun and overly sweet chocolate milk as well. But to keep this sweet session of roasting going on, let's go to our next picture.
No.
Is it just to play? Okay. Susaraya is in every picture, in every video. And I guess that's the gulab jamun.
I'm so glad the sound tick is not switched on right now because this was a whole review. And this was the review that I told about. I didn't think that this video could be here. Perhaps we can like scroll five videos upwards. That way I won't be on the videos anymore.
All right. So you have been in so many of the pictures, like more than half of it. Like 3/4 of all the pictures is Susaraya. And sadly, we have come to the end of that game session with Susaraya taking the lead with all the pictures. So now let's get on to our very last question for our interview today. So as the outgoing executive committee, you guys have obtained a great deal of experience and knowledge. So what advice do you have for our newbie Gaveliers and the present exco of the Gavel Club of University of Colombo? Let's go with our ex-president, Susaraya.
Okay, so before I talk about the advice, I would like to share a bit more of the experience as well, because there are some things that need to be said, because throughout the year, I have learned so many things as a person, just not being in an exco, just about people, which is one of the like lifelong lessons that I could gain, because I have learned how every single human being on earth has different personalities. You're not the same as anyone else. It's just like five fingers in your palm, in your hand. So just like that, every single person that we meet in our day-to-day life, be it an exco member, an organizing committee member, a senior, a junior, someone from another Gavel club, someone who's judging competitions, even interacting with people from Toastmasters International, every single step had something to teach. And go away from the people like that, go into the roles in a Gavel meeting itself. There are so many things to learn. And just like that, throughout the year, I have learned, I have to mention one person here. That's Gavel Ganeshini, who used to be our Vice President of Public Relations back then. And she was there in the previous executive committee as well. And I remember at the beginning of the year, at the AGM that was held last year, I mentioned that mental well-being and all the things that a human being, as a human, what we have to face, it has to be there. And like every single step, I have seen how different people have different priorities. And based on that, we have to respect everyone's opinion. It's not that I'm right, this person's right. No, we are all a mix of emotions. We are all human beings on our own. So that's one piece of real big experience that I gained, because we cannot force, after all, this is volunteering. So we cannot force something out of someone. And my biggest piece of advice coming straight from that would be, don't expect someone else to be just like you. And at the same time, don't expect perfection. Trying to be perfect will make you go short, because at the beginning of the year, you might have an annual plan that's pinpoint perfect. And as you go on, you might face troubles, and you might even feel like giving up. At such points, you have to take it one project at a time. And that's something I learned from experience, because up until December, we were covering up work. We were like making sure the foundation was laid, and afterwards we went into pen, and then went into the installation ceremony. And by the end of it, because there were 2 months of exams, it was very exhausting. But the passion that we had for Gavel played out, and we went into the YM University experience. Then we went into the other projects, such as Wheels of Hope, and then Oration and Transcend even, which was done during the transition month actually. And all these things would not have happened if not for the wonderful people that we have in this club. All the wonderful people who put in. So my biggest piece of advice would be to see the positives in everyone and not focus on the negatives. Just focus on the positives and make sure whatever that you do it with the best spirit that you can, and everything will turn out to be fine. That's my piece of advice.
Yes, those were some very strong words from our ex-president. So what about Dasitaya? Do you have anything to add to it? Any words of advice?
I think what Susara said actually was what I also had in mind. That, and also maybe it's so to elaborate on what I feel, it's to take whatever. So when you come into state university, I mean, even for me, it was an eye-opening experience, because there are so many opportunities everywhere. I mean, everywhere you look, there are different opportunities, be it sports, be it when it comes to club work, even academic work-wise, there are so many opportunities that open up for you that you can't foresee what will come. And so to always take those opportunities and explore and see what actually suits you. So you may come into university with one mindset, thinking that, okay, I want to do this, and that is all I'm going to do. But there are so many opportunities out there that, and it doesn't hurt for you to try it all, because this age that we are in right now, the 20 to 25 age, is where you experiment and then you find out what best suits you and then you go on that path. So I feel like university, these 4 years is the best time to experiment because yes, you can mess up, but you can also stand up again and then realize, okay, that is not for me. So that would be my advice for any freshers, newbies coming in.
Yes. So let's see. What about Nipuniaki?
Yes, so my message to newbies and the current exco, I actually gave it in our last day of our term, but I'll just repeat it here. So we have seen members who didn't play any executive committee roles, but they were a part of us. Like there were projects, there were incidents that we would not be able to handle if they were not with us. So what I have to say is like you having a role and you having an executive committee role or not, or any other position or not, is not what defines you. Like your value in this club, it is defined by you, because like you, like even after being an executive member, there's still like not being in the executive committee doesn't mean that you're one of the best members in this club. So let you define your role in this club, not having an executive committee position or not. So, and the other message that I have to give is like when I was appointed as the vice president membership, so it's supposed to be this super caring, sweet, and that kind of character. But I'm not really that kind of sweet and caring person. I'm usually straight speaking, that who doesn't think about my words or its consequences. But like this role sort of helped me to get over with it and actually to be a nice person. And when I'm doing it, I realize that it's not really hard, and you actually don't have to be a VPM to be that, to be kind to people, to encourage people, and to create a long lasting memory in someone. So yeah, I get that feedback when I get specific customized New Year messages. Like it's not that random message you send to everyone. Like I get messages addressing me. So I think that has helped me to like an imprint and impression in someone. So I think you can do it like free of charge. You don't have to be you don't have to play a role to be that person, to help someone, to encourage someone. So yeah, be that person, be that kind and encouraging person. That's what I have to say.
Yes, and that was from our Gavel mom, Nipuniaki. And let's go to Chandalaki.
Thank you, Invi. So, everyone, so when it comes to the advice that I would give, so I also told this at one of our final meetings when we had, but so you're going to do a lot of projects in Gavel. If you join in, you would be a team member, maybe you're a team head. It doesn't really matter. But when you do project, yes, you do accomplish something. But after that, the project is over. But don't end the friendships there. Carry on the friendships continuously, even after uni. Maybe it's really nice because the projects that we do are great, but the friendships that we make, they should last longer. So that's my advice.
Yes, so let's hear some words of advice from Dasuniaki.
Okay, so I don't know whether Chandala and me are syncing today or something like that, but I always have to say just like Chandra said. But like what I also have to say is that I mean, don't give up on anything just because things are hard. whether it's public speaking, whether it's a leadership role, whether it's whatever you do, you will face a lot of things that you never thought that would happen. But like when you're doing a speech, you might think, okay, this will go well, but that would turn out to be a nightmare. But again, you can try and see if it works. So and what Chandra said was the thing that I also thought. Why we come to this type of I don't know, especially for Gavel, is because we can make new friends, we can get experience, at the same time we can make new friends. So like just because something comes up and just because something ends doesn't mean that the friendships should end too. So I think people are the most important aspect in our lives, and yeah, that's what I have to say.
Yes. What about Buddhimaya? Do you have anything to add to that?
Well, I'm not a wise person to give any wise advice, but I would say, like everyone talked about opportunities. Opportunities don't fall onto your lap suddenly. You have to go and seek for that. And I'll say one thing: don't be afraid to seek opportunities, because don't be afraid to try new things, because those new things brought me to great heights. Everything I did at university, I tried it for the first time, and they have taught me a lot throughout my university life. So that's the only thing I have to say. Don't be afraid to pick your choices, because choices the ones choices the things that defines a person. So, and there are no right or wrong choices, because every choice leads you to a path. So I would say don't be afraid to take those choices and take those steps to be someone in university and even outside of the university. So that's the thing that I have to say.
Yes, university is a very different experience for all of us, and joining clubs is like a whole different experience. So what about Ruindaya?
Well, I think that one thing that I can say is that, so just like Buddhima said, don't be afraid to go for that opportunity, you know. So like when you're in the first year, like you apply to all these clubs, I mean, Gavel, Rotaract, Isaac, Leo, the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Club. So all of these clubs have their own, what do you call it? The modus operandums. So in Gavel, it's public speaking. So no matter what, I mean, we do projects, we do Wheels of Hope, we're doing Journey Hotline, and like there's going to be pinned, but the essence of Gavel remains with public speaking. So I think that public speaking is something that like everyone has to have a certain level of, like, you don't have to be Dhananjay Hettiarachchi or someone like Gihan Block or someone like Trevor Noah, but you have to have that certain level of skill to actually woo a crowd, to actually convey your idea. And I think the Gavel Club has helped me in that aspect, like a lot. Like putting myself out into the world, meeting new people, like just getting over all my insecurities, just understanding that the world doesn't necessarily care about how Ruinda looks like, if he's fat, if he's tall, if he's like 4 feet. Just at the end of the day, it's how your CEO, how you portray yourself to the world, like that. In the end of the day, that's what matters. And university is the best place to find it. It may be state, it may be private, but like we can screw up an infinite amount of times during these 4 years, and like we can just get back and just start over again. So then that's an opportunity that I think we've been blessed with, that we worked hard for. So I think we shouldn't let it go to to waste. So that is what I have to say.
Thank you, Rindaya, for those words of advice. And finally, we have Deominiaki. What do you have to add to this?
So I don't know if this kind of relates with anybody, but still something that resonates with myself is that, as Ruinda also mentioned, when we are going from school to university, it's different, right? For me, it was very, very different. Like sometimes people come and say to me, is this the same person who was at Muses College, right? Is this the same you? Like, how come you're so different now? And so with my personality, I think the people who know me knows that I don't say no to anything easily. So I just go for everything. And sometimes, yes, I mess up, but still I don't like saying no. And I just like doing so many things at once. And maybe it's not that good for me, but I don't know, it has worked so far, so I'll be doing that for the rest of the 2 years as well. So anyway, so what I wanted to say is, my advice is, so if you're some person like me, maybe you can't give 100% to everything that you do, right? So but there's this saying, let's say if you're had a very tired day and you can't do all the dishes, but just do yours, do one, right? So just that, you don't have to walk the whole way, like you don't have to go the whole journey, but just take that one little step. And sometimes you don't have to do anything, but just be there for the Gavel Club and for everybody who is struggling with so many things, and club work or academics. What I have to say is that, so yes, you have your own share of things as well, but still, even if you don't do much, even if you are not in a position to do that, but still you're working with a team and you have a great bunch of friends, and you don't have to do a lot of things to be to make them feel your presence. So you just have to sometimes be there. So I think that's kind of resonates with me. I hope at least some of us agree. So yeah, that's my.
Yes, those were some words of wisdom from our executive committee of our Gavel Club. And with that, it's time to end this fun-filled interview today. So there was never a dull moment, and the session was filled with the laughs and giggles of a bunch of amazing individuals. And on behalf of all the other members of the Gavel Club, I would like to thank you all for being the guiding lights that carried Gavel UOC to where it is today. You have been amazing mentors to our young Gaveliers and have proved that teamwork is something wonderful to behold. So this is Dinuvi Amitna and Vinokthi Smalpola signing off with the entire crew. And I would like to thank our amazing audience for sticking with us throughout this mind-blowing journey. We will definitely be back with more exciting projects to keep you connected with the world of oration. Till then, it's a goodbye. But remember, goodbyes are not forever. Goodbyes are not the end. It only means I miss you until we meet again. Thank you.